Hello and welcome to Bold Profits Market Talk for the week of November 2nd, 2020. I'm Amberlyn Castor and you are watching the Paul Mampilly YouTube channel, which is the channel for Main Street stock investors. Thanks so much everyone for tuning in. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this channel as it supports the channel. Plus, if you click the bell, just click the bell, you'll get instant reminders every time new video content is posted to this channel. And as I have a wonderful news for you, this week, Paul Mampilly will be joining us today for a special Election Day Eve edition of Market Talk Monday to share his all-weather market and investing insights no matter the election outcome, plus a great investing opportunity on how to make potentially big gains on market rebounds with our Rebound Profit Trader service. But first, Bold Profits Nation, we must share with you that right now, there's an entire elaborate choreography that's unfolding for the US economy. This once in a lifetime dance of sorts, dance of all dances, is happening before our very eyes. And Paul calls this choreography the 3 R's, restock, reinventory, and reshore. And as Paul framed it in our latest investment team call, quote, "We have never in recent human history had a world shutdown. It takes a long time to turn a factory back on. You can't just turn it on and be back at 100%. You must bring it on slowly." And then adding the fact that we don't manufacture many of the goods and products that we consume here in the US actually leads us to rely heavily on other countries to restock us, end quote. And I highlighted in last week's Market Talk Monday that Shipageddon is upon us. It's a truly amazing to see that these cargo ships heading into the US shores are at 100% capacity right now. And there's no space to hold goods that are coming here. This is something that has never been seen before. Goods, especially durable goods, are in short supply, leading to a ton of reshoring happening now and months to come. So contributing to this shortage are US household formations from millennials and Generation Z. And we're consuming at higher rates because of household formations. So check out these 3 charts from the National Association of Home Builders. Chart number 1 shows how existing home sales surged in September, reaching the highest level in 14 and a half years, despite record low supply. Chart 2 shows how home builder confidence in the market for newly built single family homes increased 2 points to 85 in October, beating the previous all-time high of 83 set in September. And chart 3 shows that single family homes are outpacing housing starts by historic margins. So these household formations are contributing to increased consumption and the need for urgent restocking. So anecdotally, I just want to add, speaking of millennial members from our team, Bold Profits team, they're experiencing their own supply shortage firsthand. On our recent call, Ian Dyer, Bold Profits senior investment analyst, shared that since October, he's in need of a freezer for his home. And he went to a big box store to buy one, but none were in stock. He was told that he'd have to wait until the end of November. And another millennial team member, Patrick Goodrich, he needs to replace an oven range for his home, but he's been told that he have to wait 6 to 7 weeks for the product. So what this means for America 2.0 investors like you, Bold Profits Nation, is that by early next year, retail stores, both brick and mortar and online alike, will likely seek a little safety in their inventory. As Paul says, if we have another wave of the pandemic or anything else that's unprecedented, retailers will have a 3-month buffer of supplies versus just-in-time inventory, of which they've been practicing for like 20 plus years. So this means extraordinary levels of production are coming. People may see the US GDP record rebound posted last Thursday. It came in at 33.1% in the third quarter as a one-time thing. And 33.1% might be a one-time occurrence, but Paul forecasts that we will see 11% again. We will see 12% for sure. And this growth will go on for 2 or 3 years. And people will ask, why is the GDP doing this? And it's because of the 3 Rs. And then there's the second R of reinventorying. Going forward, shipping goods from other countries won't be as ideal, which means more goods will be made stateside. And if we make more goods here in the US, actually that spells a boon for America 2.0 and the fourth industrial revolution, high-tech technology like 3D printing. And as Paul sees it, factories of the fourth industrial revolution will be a string of 3D printers, which will contribute to the third R, which is reshoring. So you see, Bold Profits Nation, there's an entire elaborate choreography that's unfolding for the US economy, and we want you to be part of this investing boom dance. So with that, joining us now will be Paul Mampilly sharing his market insights. Hello, Paul, and welcome again to Market Talk Monday. It's so good to see you.
Great to see you again, Amber, and thanks for having me on this election special that you are doing this morning.
Thank you.
And so I know that everyone is going to want to talk about the election and politics. However, Amber, the truth is that I actually been tweeting about this, and I actually saw something this morning from someone that sounded wise, and they said, use your vote to vote in the election. However, never vote with your savings account or your 401k account or your retirement account or investment account. Mm-hmm. I believe that is wise, very wise advice, which is that while many people may want to think that politics and the stock market and the financial system run like exactly linear to each other, the truth is that, Amber, and you report on this, is that the US economy runs on household formation. That's what drives growth. And so if you start from that perspective and you think, well, does it really matter who is elected president in terms of someone that is going to buy a house tomorrow or next week, or a business that needs to invest and believes that the future is the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, blockchain, precision medicine, new energy? I believe that whether it be a household, an individual, a business, they look at the prospects for themselves, they look at their prospects for their family, they look at their prospects for their business, and then they make the best judgment rather than purely going by what their feeling is about the election, which today in our very polarized election scenario and setup, people have very, very emotional feelings about it. However, the US economy has gone through Republican presidents, Democratic presidents, Democratic legislatures, Senate. We have gone through all kinds of things. And I would venture that very few people have any idea who was president when the railways became a big thing, or until the telephone became a big thing, or the television became a big thing, or the internet. In other words, the technologies had a momentum of their own. The economy had a momentum of their own. And that is what ultimately set the direction of stock markets, which are ultimately a bet on the productive private capacity of us as a society, as a group of people, of companies. And so in terms of my personal expectations, that when you look at the economy and set aside all the emotional aspects of the election, the US economy is absolutely on fire. And I put this tweet up on Twitter, and the numbers, Amber, are incredible. They're astonishing. They're absolutely incredible. People that are watching you on Mondays, they know the 3 Rs of recovery. So they know that this is going on. However, many people are unaware that our economy is booming. It is on absolute fire. 33% GDP growth, which is the highest in recorded history. And there was a large trade deficit. And you take that out, is nearly 37%. The expectations were for 19%, Amber, post that collapse. So nearly double if you take out the import number. And then when you go dig into it, consumer spending up nearly 41%. A huge part of the US economy is based on consumer spending. Always has been. You go back to the boom in the 1980s and early and the 1990s, consumer spending was a huge part of it. And it comes back to our essential foundation of household formation. That's once you buy a house, well, you got to buy furniture. Now you got to buy appliances and you got to buy shades. And usually at the point you're buying a house, it's usually because you start to set up a family. And then there are all these additional expenditures that come. You most of the time are going to need some way to get to work. It's going to be some form of transportation, which is why there's car sales are on fire. And then business spending is also on fire, up 20.3%. Another tweet that I put up, which shows you this. And this is also absolutely extraordinary. So very, very huge performance that, from my perspective, has very little to really ultimately do with the politics of it. Yes, it's true. Each side has a slightly different way of pursuing economic growth. So on the margin, for sure, it will matter in terms of exactly how it goes. However, nonetheless, if you start with the base assumptions of household formation, capital spending, consumer spending, and then you mix the things that we tell you about and that we are invested in across our services at Bold Profits, Amber, which is that the coming of age of the millennial generation. Those are the folks that now dominate the housing market, dominate consumer spending. Are they going to stop? I believe, irrespective of what the election is, they're still going to need to put furniture into their houses.
That's right.
They're still going to need all of the things that are driving the stocks that we're invested in, America 2.0 stocks, fourth industrial revolution stocks, and then business spending on that third R of recovery that you talk about, reshoring. Now we're all in on 3D printing at Bold Profits. And how are we going to bring back the productive capacity that we have shipped for 20 plus years to China, to Mexico, to other parts of the world? Well, it's going to be through the implementation of fourth industrial revolution technologies. 3D printing is one. And then there are the platform technologies, the megatrend technologies, Internet of Things, blockchain, artificial intelligence, the transformation of complete industries like energy from a carbon basis to where we're using sustainable energy and batteries. So there are so many things that are going right in the economy today that, while I know many people fear this election, are concerned about the volatility, I would tell you that, yes, I understand there's a great deal of emotional feeling about it. However, really until quite recently, the elections and the stock market were always considered to be quite separate things. And I would tell you that in terms of your money, yes, it's completely possible for a day or maybe a week we could have volatility. However, we've just gone through a crash in March, where we had an enormous crash. And all the numbers suggest that the people that are concerned about the stock market have raised plenty of cash. All the numbers that I have seen, which is business are overstocked with cash. Money supply is super high. In other words, the financial system is completely and utterly liquid. There is no freeze up anywhere, not in the bond market, not in the money markets, not in the stock markets. In other words, everyone is already actually prepared to the extent that there is going to be volatility. Many people have raised cash. In other words, if you're expecting a Category 5 hurricane or Category 4 hurricane, do you wait until the hurricane is upon you to start preparing? No, you do it ahead of time. COVID caught people a little bit by surprise, which is one reason why we had the crash. However, this one has been well anticipated. And I believe that most people that fear of the volatility have raised large amounts of money, have a lot of money. And to the extent that everyone understands what we are telling you in this market talk, Amber, which is that the economy is going to continue to grow. Irrespective of what the outcome is going to be. And that's the best bet that you can take. In other words, what is happening is going to continue because the underlying foundations of our economy and ultimately for America 2.0, fourth industrial revolution stocks, megatrend stocks, they are going to continue. And I believe with that, this is why I continue to be bullish, optimistic, positive on America 2.0 stocks, on fourth industrial revolution stocks. And I would tell you that if you own our stocks, please Strong hands, as we like to say, Amber, strong hands. In other words, you're never going to make big money in the market by constantly going in and out, always thinking that somehow you will get the timing of every little movement right. You're going to have to sit through some volatility, which is why we tell our folks to use rules of the game, set some cash aside, because everyone gets afraid ahead of big events. They sell out. And obviously in the last election, the people did that have missed out on a massive run in the stock market. And that's been true for so many different events. So we would tell you that first thing that I start with, which is that separate the politics and the stock market and focus on what matters for each different world. And with that, really, that's the election update, which is that I am still bullish, still optimistic, still positive. Everything that we have been telling you about Fourth Industrial Revolution, America 2.0 is still in place and is going to continue in place because none of those things are political events. These are either technological foundations, technological platforms, technological progress. And then there is what I mentioned, which is that household formations, the base of our economy, still in place. So that's what I have for this election special. I would tell people, strong hands, stay in there. I believe that whatever volatility is going to come, it's going to come. If you have some cash in your account, as we tell you, it rules the game, it's going to be fine. And then I believe our economy, our markets, and our country, we will continue to move forward and we will ultimately prosper. So bullish, optimistic, positive, Amber.
I love it.
And that's my comments for this election special for Market Talk.
Oh, great comments as always. Hashtag BOP for our Bold Profits Nation. Thank you, Paul, so much for sharing your insights and for stopping by. We appreciate your information as always.
Thanks, Amber, for having me on. Bye.
Bye-bye. And if you're looking for a way to play the rebound in the U.S. Economy and its stock market, look no further than Paul and Ian's Rebound Profit Trader option service. It's truly extraordinary. I just checked with our editorial team, and we can tell you that it's had 31 gains in a row options trades, which is astounding for an option service. One of the gains I noted was actually as much as 111.5%, and that was just taken in just from, I would say, less than 2 months, which is amazing gain on an option. So if you're looking for any information on this extraordinary service, please click the link below in the description page of this YouTube video. Finally, turning toward the U.S. economic calendar ahead, there will be 9 major economic releases. On Tuesday, September factory orders and September's final print for durable goods orders will post at 8:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. respectively. On Wednesday, weekly mortgage applications and October's ADP employment change will post at 7 a.m. and 8:15 a.m. respectively. And on Thursday, September's trade balance and weekly jobless claims will post at 8:30 a.m. followed by the Fed Open Markets Committee rate decision at 2 p.m. And on Friday, the October jobs report and September's final print for wholesale inventories month over month will post at 8:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. respectively. And of these releases, we'll be closely watching factory orders as well as the Friday jobs numbers for October. So if you like to follow Paul and me on Twitter, you can find us at Mampili Guru and at A Lancaster Guru. And throughout the trading week, I aim to post the results of our, as Paul just said, hashtag BOP, bullish, optimistic, positive take on most of these economic releases. So everyone, that concludes this week's Market Talk Monday. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, have a wonderful week ahead and take care.